Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Ancient Legends Challenge. In the last episode, our tribe discovered one very precious resource right underneath the summer quartz tree. And our discovery of the healing fruit then birthed what might just be our most effective digger in the entire tribe. Snowdrop has the digging trunk and the digging paw, which means that she alone should be able to feed our tribe well once we do ship off to the next island. And not a moment too soon, because thanks to the death of our summer queen, the cold air has now returned to the mountainside. So it seems like it might be the perfect time for us to gather up our creatures and go off searching for new glaciers. This island has pretty much run its course. We've searched through most of the grasslands now, and we haven't found any little secret glaciers, so I think our only choice is to travel somewhere new. So anyone who won't be taking the journey will have to be put on food collecting duties, and I'm sure that is right up Emma's alley. She's probably already sniffing around for bunnies. Oh no, has a rogue male moved in here too? Oh no, it's messy. I think we're going to have to ask Topaz to scoot his way up here so that rogue male doesn't notice you instead. Hopefully he's going to draw the attention of the Berryina. That would be nice if he calls him a little bit closer to us. I wonder if maybe he was sniffing around the meat though. It seems like that's a surefire way to call danger to our tribe. So if you wouldn't mind, Topaz, go ahead and use your last turn to pick up the meat for us. And then maybe we can scoot Aspen down to his sister, so we can have his messy breed with Topaz one more time, just so we don't have to worry about the lurking rogue male. Though Daria, on the other hand, is probably still going to catch his interest, and she's a bit more concerned with the berry bush. She wouldn't want him stealing all of their food. Oh, he actually looks like a prickly little lion with that fiery mane on top of his head. And interestingly enough, it does look like their immunity genes line up. So while they wouldn't make the healthiest of babies, and they would definitely have the derp snout, I suppose this could be a way for Daria to raise one child of her own. She is getting very close to the end of her lifespan, so this would be her one and only chance to have a baby. We'll see if they decide to start a little family together, as we start leading Gabby and her brother Aspen straight over to the stream. They can look for a way to cross once the day has passed, and they have a little bit more energy to spare, because I don't want them to get too cold settling down in the ocean. I guess luck is on your side after all, Daria. It looks like you'll get to have one baby to raise alongside your family. We'll have her stay right inside the hot springs though, because I don't want her to get too cold. Kind of like Emma over here, who's running herself ragged chasing after Big Don. She is so frazzled by our resident walrus deer that she hasn't even been able to focus on her bunnies. So maybe she could take a tip from Rila, and she could help her relax by basking in the hot springs, at least for a little while. Now it's going to be very, very hard for her to ignore those bunnies hopping around too. They seem to enjoy the hot springs just as much as our tribe, but thankfully her big sister Scotia can take care of her job for now. I think Scotia is one of the creatures who will definitely come with us. With the big body hidden away in her inactive traits, that will be an invaluable thing for us to breed onto our babies. Now Rila, why don't you scoot on up here too, so you can settle down right next to Emma and get to know her better, as we bring John Panda out to scout around for some roots to dig up instead. It looks like most of them have already been picked clean, though I think a few are still down here by his mother's nest. So maybe we can have him return to his family, but for now he can sit high on the stump just to scout around the area for her. I'm sure she's a little bit worried about the possibility for danger. Her family is weakened by the cold, so it would be difficult for them to protect her babies. And wouldn't you know it, Just as we're talking about babysitting, Big Don rears his head again. It looks like he must have been out here in the ocean, as he so loves to do, splashing around in the tide pools as always. We have to let him and Reezy reunite before they end up leaving for the next island, because I think she's probably going to end up going too. Hero knows just how important this little baby is going to be, so he needs to ask some of our strongest and bravest warriors and our greatest of explorers to guide her safely to the ports. Nina and Nana both know that Meladine and Reezy are right for the job, but I feel like Hero would also request that Knight goes with them too, just for his own peace of mind. Since he doesn't know these two very well, he just wants to make sure that no harm will come to his baby. I'm sure she'd be happy to go on another adventure. Despite her weakness to the colds, Knight is never one to turn down a good adventure. We'll bring Nana down here to pick up some of the extra roots, so her baby will have even more to take. And it looks like we may have unlocked a new gene too. Let's see if we can find it in Reezy's mutation menu. It must have been something like the Cracker Jaw or the Nimble Fingers. It's hard to keep track across so many different tribes. It's not one of the prehistoric genes though, that we know for sure, and that is the most important thing for this challenge. So let's bring Reezy out to the front, so she can hopefully start carving out a pathway for Snowdrop to take, along with her mother too. And I just noticed that we seem to have some sort of skeleton in the water. Oh, that can't be a good omen. I wonder if maybe that was the rogue male. Do you guys remember quite a few episodes ago, we had a rogue male wandering the mountainside? He seemed to be a little bit interested in Fennec Chew, but he left before they could have a baby. He was one of the ones with the big body in his genetics too. But I don't think that our summer court would be too thrilled to see such a strange omen in the ocean. They must be a little bit worried about what's to come. We should be ready to skip the day now, as Big Don watches over the birth of Butterbee's new baby. I think he must be wearing Butterbee down. She is quite the little huntress too, but Big Don has been hanging around her children for so long that she can't possibly see him as a threat. Her new little baby looks so much like her father though, with those beautiful gray spots and that lovely springtime crown too. She definitely looks like a child of the spring, so I'm glad that's staying strong in their line. The next name on my list is Fate, so welcome to the tribe, little one. And we'll see if maybe you can get to know Big Don better, now that Emma and Scotia are far away, and probably quite distracted by all of those bunnies hopping in the grass. It looks like we have another one down here that Scotia could probably pounce on. Oh, but she's starting to get cold too. Yeah, we probably don't want to risk it. We'll have her settle down inside the hot springs instead, and see if maybe one of the bunnies will get close enough for her to grab from her warm bath. Now Gabby is old enough to lead her younger brother right over to the other side of the stream, so they can both meet the rest of their tribe. These are the creatures that they will hopefully be traveling to the new island with after all. Oh, and it looks like the leeches are back. Just in time. You can swipe that one up, but I think you might have to ask for help with the next one. Good thing you're so close to your little brother. He can keep a close eye on you as Daria scoots out of her hot springs and builds a nest for her baby right on the shore. Maybe not the safest of places, especially considering all of the leeches we just saw. And because of that, Bergina in the grass too. I think it might be time for Ismesi and Topaz to take back their territory. We'll have Topaz settle down right next to his sister, so at least he can keep a watch over the baby. And then Ismesi is going to try to figure out exactly where this Bergina ran off to. Hopefully she won't find any other dangers in the process. So far, she doesn't see him anywhere around. We'll have to have her sit on top of that stump on the next turn, and see if maybe that will give her some more clues. It also means that she will be pretty easily detected, because I'm sure the Berryina will be able to see her big body over that tall grass. But he must be weak by now, if he's even still alive, so I'm sure she'll be able to take him all by herself. I think Topaz also unlocked the big nose for us, because he picked up all of that tall grass, and that's just as useful as our digging trunks, because they both can smell very, very well. Now Snowdrop, it's time for you to take your very first steps right out of this nest. We'll have Nina go ahead and pack away the extra material. That way somebody else might be able to use it instead. And it looks like we might have a bunny situation. Knight, I think you're going to have to launch yourself over here to pick up the extra meat. We don't want Nana to get too far away either. And luckily it seems as if she has plenty of roots to dig up next to her family, so she can offer those up to Reezy as an extra little snack. They will need their energy after all. It is a long, hard journey, especially when it's still so cold. They're going to have to kind of huddle together just to make sure that nobody ends up freezing along the way. Dakota, I think, will stay behind with her father, because she could at least help him pick up all of those tasty acorns as soon as she has an extra gem to spare, and I'm sure she's looking forward to working for our summer court. Poor Mr. Panda is getting cold again, exposing himself to the elements high atop the stump. You better scoot on down here so Daisy and Storm Sky can warm you up. I feel like he had a particular love for the hot springs, and he is really going to miss these once he's gone. And look at that! Scotia was able to pick off one of those pesky little bunnies. Looks like they're getting very, very cheeky in their effort to steal every last one of our berries. Now, I wonder if Emma might be a little more curious about the other side of the stream. There is quite a bit of commotion taking place over there after all. So despite all of your efforts, Rila, I don't think she's going to stay with you in the hot springs. I don't think any of your lessons worked. It's not your fault though. Some creatures just can't sit still. They have to constantly be on the move, always thinking about what their next mission might be. And Emma has no time for rest and relaxation. Big Dawn, were you really spying on us from the grass? I swear this guy is going to steal every last one of our babies if we're not careful. He is literally looking to adopt every last one he can get his greedy little hooves on. But I think we might be out of turns now. So let's go back here, not only to see what Daria's one and only baby will look like, but also to make sure that Ismesi doesn't get attacked by the Berryina. Well, thankfully it looks like the Berryina hasn't noticed you yet, but there are so many bunnies out here. Oh my goodness, this would be heaven for Emma. Maybe you guys need to call her over here after all. I'm still going to have you sit on the stump though, just to see if this might give you a better clue. Well, our Dodamingos are alive and well. I guess that's a good sign. Yeah, still no Berryina in sight. Maybe he's already passed away. Well, I'm sure Emma will put those worries to rest. We'll lure her over here with the smell of fresh bunny meat, so she'll know that we have a nice big feast waiting for her. It looks like even Topaz can get in on the fun. We'll have him swipe at the bunnies and pick up some extra berries too, just so they don't get too much of our food in the process. So Emma will get the chance to meet our new little baby as well, as she settles down by the hot springs. Of course, he does have that deformed paw of his father, but he's still a very special baby. I had assumed that she was going to pass away without ever starting a family, and I'm sure that she did as well. But now her new little baby can carry on her legacy and maybe help take over all of those berry bushes again, the same ones that she loved to pick from when she was young. The next name on my list is Harry, so welcome to our tribe, and we'll see if perhaps you can join Ismesi as soon as she's sure that the danger is past. And now with the bunnies guiding our hammer-tailed family, I guess this means that they're going to cross paths with the hot spring owner too. We'll bring Rila down here to greet them, despite how cold she's getting herself. And then Scotia can scoot her way down here to pick up that meat for them. That'll give Rila the chance to warm up for a little while in her place. And then Scotia can get to know the new creatures she'll be traveling with. At least if the hot springs don't seem too appealing to some of these creatures instead. I wonder if Aspen in particular might want to take a dip inside the pools. He only has the medium body after all, so he's a little bit more vulnerable to the colds. He might just want to stay behind here with Rila. We'll have to see once we pass the day. I suppose if you guys are feeling brave enough, you might branch out a little bit and start clearing out the grass over by the ports. Daisy can even crack open those extra shells on the other side of the tree. We'll have John Panda do the same. He's not quite as good at cracking open the acorns, but he can definitely lend a paw with all of this grass. And that means he'll be meeting up with our summer court very soon too. Now that Snowdrop has her second gem, she should be able to keep up the pace with Meladine and Reezy. And Knight too. Come on out here after you say goodbye to your brother. She was probably distracted looking for little bunnies to pick off. It is her absolute favorite pastime after all, chasing bunnies all the way up the mountain. So Reezy, I guess that leaves you to do a bit more exploring by the grass. We'll have you help out Mr. Panda as soon as we pass the day. And I guess that means that Meladine will have to stay here, so we know that Snowdrop will be nice and warm. Though then again, because she has a big body, I don't think that even matters. It's Knight and Meladine that we have to be worried about. Snowdrop is surprisingly sturdy, so while they make sure that nothing dangerous is standing in her path, we'll have the rest of her family gather up the last of our food. We're down to the last few morsels before we should be ready to ship off to our next island. Are there any more roots for you to dig up, Nina? Right over here under Hero? And then perhaps you guys could pick up those extra berries too. We don't need those bunnies getting a whiff of those. So that should be the end of our turns. And I think we're going to go straight back over here to Ismesi again, just to make sure that there are no ambushes in our future. It looks like our poor little Dodomingo may have passed away. So let's just sniff around again just in case. Make sure the Berryina hasn't noticed the fresh meat. And then we'll bring Emma into the tall grass to see what she can discover. She is going to be a lifesaver for you guys. You will never have to worry about those bunnies skittering under your feet again. So I guess you should be safe to come on over here and potentially pick up that meat. Yeah, I still don't see the Berryina around, so it probably won't be able to see you or your new baby either. You guys should be safe and sound. Though that being said, there is a bluebird hovering in our skies right now, so we have to be super careful about Harry. Oh, and this is Topaz's last day too? Well then we better scoot you out of the nest, and you better pack up this one, so somebody else can use it once we leave. After all, your son's family might be able to make pretty good use of it. Even though Aspen is starting to lose interest in the journey, he would much rather basking here with Rila in her hot springs. That doesn't mean that his genetics have to die off here. He lines up perfectly with Scotia, so they would have very healthy babies, and they might even be able to breed some more of that big body into our tribe too. So I think what I'm going to do is place the Hammertail into her first slot, since that's what his family is known for, of course. Then we'll breed these two, and she'll take that baby over to the next island after they've all gathered together on the ports. So this is unfortunately where they're all going to part ways. Though if we scoot Rila up to the higher hot springs, we should be able to settle Aspen down right inside this one. Gabby's going to be sad to leave her little brother behind, especially because he was such a big help to her, but she knows that he's going to be safer here. He wasn't exactly built for such cold weather, and it looks like my suspicions may have been correct. Snowdrop is doing just fine all on her own, while some of our other creatures on the outskirts of the gatherings are starting to succumb to the cold. So you're going to have no trouble whatsoever digging up every last one of the roots that you find, as your friends... Oh my gosh. Make sure that you're safe? How long have you been here? Oh my goodness! Has she been frozen here this whole time? Just picking from the toxic berry bushes? Oh, you poor, poor thing. I mean, the least we can do is invite you to the tribe, so maybe we can give you a bit of food, help you find a nice place to settle down. If she scoots on over here, she could even help our springtime creatures pick up all of those delicious acorns. Actually, with her beautiful pink mask, she almost looks like a little rosebud, so she fits in very well with the children of spring. She must have been hoping to catch their eye. Oh, Reezy, I see Big Don way down the shore. Oh, I'm not sure if you're going to get the chance to see him. Right now you have a bit of a job to do, so hopefully he'll decide to make his way over to the ports before you guys leave. That day is looming very, very close now. I think within another turn or two, all of our creatures will have made it safely to their end goal. So these last few morsels might just be the most important, because who knows what sort of island we'll be visiting next. I feel like we were very lucky to have so many trees, and so many berry bushes that we could easily pick from too. It wasn't too hard for us to increase our food supplies, despite the ever-constant threat of balance bears. Now I hope his Messie's final baby has the hammertail? Yes, it looks like he does. So she'll have a little hunting partner after all. Somebody other than Emma, at least. She's going to have to lead poor little Harry up to the tree, so he can find a nice good berry bush to settle down by, just like his mother intended. I guess this family can take back their territory after all. So in the next episode, as soon as we lead little Snowdrop straight over to the ports, we will officially be ready to set sail. We have all of the creatures that we need to keep us not only safe, but also quite well fed. So I can't wait to see what new glaciers are waiting in our tribe's future. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!